Jeff Suppan is pitching today. Come one, come all, expecting a sellout crowd today at Miller Park. Suppan on the mound against Ross Ohlendorf. Jeff back for his second start since returning from the disabled list and looking for that elusive win since returning. The Brewers try to make it a clean sweep of the Pirates this afternoon on Fox Sports Wisconsin. And hi, everybody, and welcome from Miller Park. Brian Anderson along with Bill Schroeder. Great to have you with us. It is a beautiful day for baseball. The final game of this homestand. And, Rock, we're looking at these numbers here. The Brewers against the Pirates at Miller Park. The winning streak is now at 20 games. You got to go back a long way to find a streak that long.
Yeah, back in the 30s, the National League record, the Gas House Gang, back in the early 30s. Imagine that. But there's really no rhyme or reason why the Brewers have dominated the Pirates so well here at Miller Park. I mean, you can see the team earned run average, 2.79. They've been scoring a lot of runs. It's just one of those things that you really can't put your finger on. It's been a different team for the Brewers. It started in 07, different guys for the Pirates, but that domination continues, and hopefully it's going to continue here this afternoon.
Fourth longest in the history of the National League. The Brewers have the current active list as far as domination, one team over another in one particular ballpark. The Brewers have won 20 straight against the Pirates here at Miller Park. It is a streak that began in 2007. They'll try to make it 21 in a row with a victory here today. The Brewers go for the sweep. Remember, the Pirates swept the Brewers a couple of weeks ago. Time to return the favor. Baseball coming your way next on Fox Sports Wisconsin. A sparkling Sunday afternoon and a sellout crowd expected here today. The Brewers and the Pirates, final game of this three-game series. The Brewers have won the first two games, a 7-3 win here last night and an 8-6 victory on Friday night. And after being swept by the Cincinnati Reds to start this homestand, a good chance to get it back to 500. Subway lineup turned in by John Russell, the skipper of the Pirates. It's Andrew McCutchen, Delwin Young, and Garrett Jones at the top. Ryan Doumit, Lastings Milledge, and Brandon Moss in the middle of Russell's order. And the bottom three, Andy LaRoche, Ronnie Cedeno, and Ross Ohlendorf. Cedeno back in the starting lineup after missing 7 consecutive starts. Defensively for the Brewers, Braun, Garrett, and Catalanato in the outfield. It's McGee, Counsell, Lopez, and Fielder around the horn, with a battery of Jason Kendall and Jeff Suppan. Jeff Suppan making his second start since returning from the disabled list with an oblique injury, and rocked the numbers for Suppan this season.
Well, last time out, as you mentioned, almost a month between starts for Suppan. That oblique situation against Cincinnati's 4 1/3, gave up 4 runs, gave up single runs in 4 consecutive innings, 5 walks, 1 strikeout. And the important thing for Suppan, he felt good the day after his start.
And for our Piggly Wiggly scouting report, we check in with Brewers pitching coach Chris Bosio, who had this on today's starter.
When you have the amount of time that he's had off-speed pitches, are really going to be of high importance. And the tilt that you have and the control that you have. One thing we have to stay away from, with Soup and all our pitchers, is the walk totals. And 5 walks in that game came back and bit him a little bit. But he did do some good things for his first start back, and we're looking for him to be better next time out.
Yeah, when you take that much time off and really not able to throw much at all, I mean, your off-speed pitches, a guy like Suppan is going to suffer the most because he relies on command. He doesn't overpower anybody, and certainly you hope that he's got better command here today.
Well, Suppan went about a month between starts. Started against the Reds last time out. He's got Damian Beal calling balls and strikes today behind home plate. Rob Drake, Jerry Lane, and Tony Randazzo on the bases. The crew chief is Jerry Lane. If there is need for a review or a replay on a boundary call, it'll be Jerry Lane who makes that decision. Just a gorgeous day. Boy, a lot of folks out early tailgating in the Miller Park parking lots by the thousands today. Final free weekend for the kids. They're back in school, most of them in this area, beginning on Tuesday. And a lot of families taking advantage of it. So a bright sunny day, always good for the pitcher. And here we go as we are set to play ball. Game number 130 of the 162 game schedule. Andrew McCutchen leads off, and Suppan's first pitch is down and away. 64 degrees our game time temperature. McCutchen and the Pirates, as we chronicled throughout this series, a free swinging bunch, which could play into the favor of Jeff Suppan.
A lot of his pitches starting the strike zone, and with late movement end up down and away or down and in. And be very careful first pitch fastballs to this group. We saw that a lot in yesterday's ball game.
Now Suppan spent a dozen years between trips to the disabled list. Last time he was on the disabled list was last year, and it had been 12 years prior to that. But spent a little time on the DL. He missed a month last year and back on the disabled list this year with that side injury as McCutchen bangs one into left and a base hit. Andrew McCutchen now has a 12-game hitting streak going. The terrific rookie certainly making the most of his opportunities and making a serious bid at Rookie of the Year with plenty of baseball to be played.
Yeah, he's been very impressive since being brought up and put into center field every day. You make mistakes with the fastball to this team, this Pirate team, you're going to pay for them. You can make some mistakes with the off-speed stuff. A very good fastball hitting team, which means they're up there looking for it, and you can get them out with good breaking pitches.
Here's Delwin Young, a free swinger, switch hitting second baseman. Pirates like to go quick. They have a lot of young players on their roster and in their lineup, many of whom are getting their first real significant opportunity to play every day in the big leagues.
Which makes them a dangerous opponent. They really don't have much to lose. They're out there trying to show John Russell and the rest of the Pirate organization that they can play and they deserve an opportunity next year.
Got to keep an eye on McCutchen at first. He has 15 steals in the big leagues. He's only been caught 3 times. So usually when he runs, he makes it. He's very fast and already a pretty polished base stealer at 22 years of age.
And Suppan has to keep an eye on him. Not a very quick move to first base or to home plate for Suppan. He will give you the slide step from time to time, but all the off-speed pitches that he throws makes it tough for a catcher to get a good pitch to throw on.
But the big slugger, Garrett Jones, another rookie who is making some noise and will certainly earn some votes for Rookie of the Year. He leads all National League rookies in homers. He waits on deck. Suppan has Delwin Young down, no balls, 2 strikes. 1-2.
Touching with a big lead over at first base. Looks like he wants to go.
Kendall threw out a base runner yesterday. He caught Lasting's Millage trying to steal. But for the most part, the running game has been held in check over the last couple of weeks. Most of that credit belongs to the pitching staff. A hot one right in Lopez. Chance for 2 here. Counsell the turn and a 4-6-3 double play. Delwin Young hit it like a shot, but on one hop right to Lopez in an easy double play.
Well, Suppan got his ground ball, although it was a one-hop line drive and an easy double play. Craig Counsell getting the start at shortstop today. Escobar sits this one out at least early on. Ken Macha has all of his left-handed bats in the lineup,
including Jody Garrett, who starts in center field for Mike Cameron today. Garrett Jones with 2 outs, and Suppan gets ahead of him. Jones has only been in the big leagues for 2 months. He was called up on July 1st, and already with 15 home runs and 30 runs driven in. 15 homers, just shy of 200 at bats in the major leagues. Those who have started and played just about every day, guys like Prince Fielder and Ryan Braun, their at bats are into the 400s, into the high 400s on some occasions as well. That just gives you an idea of how productive Jones has been in just 197 official major league at bats this year.
And for the first time in his career, getting an opportunity to play every day. You know, power hitters need that consistency with the at bats. Never was able to get it at the big league level before. And showing good power, particularly to the opposite field from what we've seen from him so far this year.
Jones leads all rookies in homers. Colby Rasmus with the Cardinals right behind him. And then Casey McGee tied for 3rd with 10 homers. Good pitch by Suppan, and Jones has the count full.
Changeup's going to be a very good pitch for Suppan today. This is a free swinging ball club. Changeup, great pitch and well located.
3-2, 2 outs. Walked him. And Jones at first with 2 gone for Ryan Doumit. Doumit did not start yesterday. He was actually pulled from a game on Friday, which led to a closed-door meeting between Doumit and his manager John Russell. The topic of discussion was kept private, as it should be.
Yeah.
But Doumit back in the starting lineup this afternoon.
The only thing a manager has over a player these days is playing time. So if Doumit did something that John Russell didn't agree with, or there was a bit of a personality conflict going on, manager always gets the last word, and that's to sit him on the bench.
Doumit's been a good hitter in his career. Had 15 homers last year. And about 2/3 of the schedule. He played in 116 games a season ago. He's been hampered by a number of injuries this year, including a broken thumb which knocked him out a good part of the first half.
Kind of been the issue for him the last couple of years. He's got a lot of talent, pretty good catcher behind home plate as well. Just gets hurt a lot.
Spent nearly 3 months on the disabled list. Actually, a broken bone in his wrist. And had the cast on. He did it swinging the bat in mid-April. And I remember at the time when you noticed that he was attempting his comeback, hand injuries and hitters don't go together very well.
Those are rough. They're rough to come back from. Nothing more important to a hitter than those wrists and hands, forearms.
Two and one the count with the runner at first. And Doumit pops it up. Craig Counsell is under it, and he's got it for the final out the first inning. Scoreless start for Soup, and now the Brewers coming up. Once again, they are 3 under to start the day. Macha's Subway lineup: Felipe Lopez, Craig Counsell, Ryan Braun at the top. Middle of the order has Prince Fielder, Casey McGee, and Jody Garrett. Jason Kendall, Frank Catalanato, and Jeff Suppan rounded out. A bunch of lefties in Macha's lineup against the right-hander Ross Ohlendorf.
And the Piggly Wiggly scouting report on the big tall right-hander from Princeton University. He's won 3 in a row in 5 of his last 6 decision. Works down in the zone, gets a lot of ground balls, has a pretty good overhand curveball, and run support a big factor for him. Now, in his 8 losses this year, a combined 3 runs on the board by the Pirates when he's been on the mound.
So he's pitched well and could easily have a much better win-loss record right now. He's 11-8, a 4.10 ERA, but he has been very good, one of the best in the league, as a matter of fact, since the All-Star break. See the season numbers on Ohlendorf. 26th start of the year.
They have 4 and 1 since the second half started after the All-Star game with a 2.74 ERA.
It covers 7 starts, that 4-1 record. Ohlendorf making his 3rd start against the Brewers. Lopez has seen him all 3 times as well. And you wonder if the advantage of the hitter, having seen this pitcher for the 3rd time in the last 2 months basically, will have any effect on him. Ohlendorf is 2-0 against the Brewers in his 2 starts and a 2.25 ERA. His last time out on the 18th of August, just a couple of weeks ago, he went 7+ and only 1 earned run. That was in Pittsburgh. A lazy fly ball to center. McCutchen will make the catch for out number 1.
And because of that success that Ohlendorf's had against the Brewers, Ken Macha has shaken up his lineup just a little bit. He's got 5 left-handed bats.
Here's how the Pirates line up defensively with Lastings Millage, Andrew McCutchen, and Brandon Moss in the outfield. The infield is Andy LaRoche, Ronnie Cedeno, Delwyn Young, and Garrett Jones, and a battery of Doumit and Ohlendorf. Pirates a very good defensive club. Only 55 errors this year, the fewest in the National League. They did commit an error last night and a couple of misplays last night, Rock, that did end Pittsburgh, as the Brewers were able to continue to tack on runs and picked up the win.
Kind of the way things have happened for the Pirates here at Miller Park since '07. I mean, little things that they do end up costing them games. And the Pirates have been able to snap that stretch of consecutive wins overall back in Pittsburgh this year. But for whatever reason, I mean, the Brewers just find ways to beat the Pirates here at Miller Park. There's really no rhyme or reason to it.
Well, earlier this season, the Brewers had strung their winning streak, their overall winning streak against Pittsburgh, to 17 consecutive before the Pirates finally won in July. But the home winning streak is still alive and well. The Brewers have beaten the Pirates in 20 consecutive games here at Miller Park, a streak that began in 2007. And coincidentally enough, it began with a start from Claudio Vargas, who was in the rotation back then. Vargas back with the club in the bullpen. And Vargas the winner yesterday. 2-2 to Counsell.
Maybe mention that, including Lopez, the switch hitter, Ken Maka has 4 other left-handed bats in the lineup, and Ohlendorf, an opponent batting average against right-handers at .224, against lefties over .300. So Ken Maka trying to shake it up a bit, try to get some runs off of this guy.
4 lefties and a switch hitter for Maka today, and he's staggered his left-handers as well. So at no point in the lineup do back-to-back lefties hit, with the exception of Lopez and Counsell. But remember, Lopez is a switch hitter. So if down the road in this game, if John Russell, who now has 1 lefty in his bullpen, brings on Dumatre, then you certainly have some matchup options there. Counsell sends one high in the air, playable for Moss. And 2 gone here in the first. Well, we're keeping an eye on Ryan Braun. He belted his 99th homer of the year 2 days ago. And he is on an impressive list of some of the game's greatest names. Pujols and Kiner, 114 home runs in their first 3 years. Eddie Matthews, as a member of the Boston and Milwaukee Braves. Teixeira's on the list with 107. And the great Joe DiMaggio did it with the Yankees his first 3 years. And then there's Braun, number 6. And one more, and he enters the Century Club. And only those players have been able to do that in their first 3 seasons in the major leagues. It is quite an exclusive list.
Can't show video of Joe DiMaggio enough for me. Love seeing that guy. Man, all the guys on that list, actually. And Ralph Kiner, and nobody better in the beginning of their career than Albert Pujols. And Ryan Braun right there with him.
What was amazing about Pujols, the year prior to his major league rookie season, he was in single A with the Cardinals. Went from single A to the big leagues. As Braun cuts through one, down he goes on strikes, and the inning is over. So a 1-2-3 start for Ross Ohlendorf. We head to the second at Miller Park, scoreless. Filing in Jeff Suppan bobblehead day today here at Miller Park, and Jeff Suppan back on the mound starting his second inning of work. Lastings Millage leads off. Brandon Moss, then Andy LaRoche. Suppan giving up a hit and a walk in the first inning. Got a double play from Delwin Young as the Pirates put 2 on, but stranded just 1 in a scoreless first inning for Suppan. Last time out, Suppan was put on an 80 pitch limit, and that limit will be increased today. Not a hard number given by Ken Maka and Chris Bosio. It was an 80 pitch limit last time, and Suppan threw 90 pitches in 4 1/3 innings. So they feel like he could probably stretch out to 100, but it all depends on how stressful the pitches become and the kinds of situations he has to pitch in.
Yeah, how things are going, whether the Brewers need to pinch hit for him, but yeah, you would think that 100 pitches would be about his limit today. Not too many of the Brewers starters go much over 100. That's pretty much the standard at this point. Braden Looper very rarely goes over 100. Gallardo didn't have many over 100 yesterday in 5 innings, and he was done.
Well, we get a lot of questions about why Ken Maka and Chris Bosio keep such a firm count on 100, and it's not just the pitch count. It is more so for Yovani Gallardo, the number of pitches that he's throwing. They want to protect him, but guys like Looper and Suppan, guys that have been around, they certainly can extend out further than that. It has more to do with the 3rd time through the batting order and 4th time through the batting order if they're pitching well.
And their effectiveness, you're right. I mean, if they're not effective, then they're going to be gone. But you're right about Gallardo. It's all about, watching his innings and pitch counts throughout each and every start. Got to protect that arm.
I think what we saw last year with CC Sabathia gives you a good idea. A pitcher who has come along and he's an established big leaguer like a Sabathia. You can let him go to 125, 135 pitches even. There's a base hit. Lastings Millage finds the hole, and a leadoff base runner for the Pirates. Well, we caught up with Chris Bosio about Suppan's last start. We wanted to know what his impressions were and his thoughts leading into this start.
Strength is going to be the determining factor right there, and getting extension and being able to throw the ball what we call through the glove and really get good extension. Game plan was there. He had good focus, did a lot of good things. Velocity was surprisingly good, throwing some pitches at 90, 91, so that's a good sign.
And that's one of the problems that he had in his last couple of starts with that oblique situation. He wasn't able to extend. He kind of cut his arm off short, and everything straightened out. He was able to get rid of it and finish off his delivery. You talk to Jason Kendall, Suppan's pitches move as well as anybody's. It's just a matter of him feeling free and easy without any pain in that oblique for him to allow to just let it go, not think about it.
Well, here's Brandon Moss. The Pirates have a leadoff runner aboard for the 2nd consecutive inning. And Moss, a free swinger, takes a hack at the first pitch. Pirates have some base runners in their order, but it's tough to find the guy to hit behind him that'll take a few pitches. Guys like McCutchen and Lastings Millage anxious to run, but not finding many opportunities to run.
Yeah, really the only guy that we've seen in this series so far, even in Pittsburgh, the guy to work the count and take some strikes is Delwin Young. The rest of the guys, they see a fastball they like, they're going after it, which makes them a tough bunch of hitters to pitch to and to set up for different pitches because they're not up there very long if you're throwing them strikes.
Pittsburgh, not a big home run hitting ball club on the stat sheet, but they've hit a lot of homers against the Brewers. Had a home run yesterday from Andy LaRoche, their 17th home run against Milwaukee in just 9 games. Pirates down at the bottom of the list in the National League as far as team home runs. But again, you can throw the stats out because who knows? So much of this Pirates roster is turned over so much. Most of these players you're seeing today either weren't on the opening day roster or weren't in the starting lineup for opening day. 2-2 the count on Brandon Moss. Moss came to the Pirates last year in a deal that involved the Red Sox. He was part of that three-way trade that included Manny Ramirez and Jason Bay, and of course the Dodgers. That's where Andy LaRoche came from as well. But Moss was the Boston to Pittsburgh version of that three-team trade.
Man, last year this guy looked like he was going to be a pretty good player, and a left-handed hitter was going to be in that lineup a lot, but it hasn't turned out that way for him. Well, he hasn't provided the power that the Pirates had hoped. Talked about those 6 home runs and almost 300 at bats. That's not much production.
And a line drive to right center. That is going to go to the gap. Catalanotto able to cut it off. Millage will stop at third. And it's a double for Brandon Moss, and the Pirates have something cooking here in the second inning.
Man, it looked like an off-speed pitch up in the strike zone, and Moss able to wait back. Yeah, you can get Moss out with the hard stuff upstairs, but not the off-speed pitches. Looked like a slider that stayed up in the middle part of the plate, and Moss able to wait back and knock it into right. Good play by Catalanotto to cut it off. Had that ball got by him, run would have scored. Millage would have scored easily. It's all about location for Suppan. We talked about the movement on his pitches when he finishes his delivery, but it all comes down to location. Got to be on the corners and down.
LaRoche swinging at the first pitch, pops it up, and Kendall makes the catch for out number 1. Big out for Suppan. LaRoche trying to jump on that first pitch. Looked like a pretty good pitch to hit, but he pops it up. Runners have to stay put. Out number 1.
And most guys are going to take a pitch in that situation, make the pitcher work a little bit, but LaRoche, who in the first 2 games of the series was the cleanup hitter, and now he's hitting 7th today, is trying anything to get some runs on the board.
Well, the Brewers will walk Ronnie Cedeno now. You got the pitcher coming up next. We'll take a shot at perhaps turning a double play to get out of the inning. Cedeno making his first start in over a week. He's missed 7 consecutive starts due to a fractured pinky. It's on his right hand. He has not been able to play defensively until today, but as he's shown coming off the bench, he can still swing the bat.
And pulls the ball with authority. We've seen that last month or so in Pittsburgh and in Milwaukee.
Cedeno had a pinch hit double yesterday. So the bases are loaded here. Pitcher coming up, Ross Ohlendorf. Ohlendorf has 3 hits in 51 big league at bats this season. He came to the Pirates in the deal they made last year with the Yankees, sending Xavier Nady to the Yankees. Ohlendorf came over with Jeff Karstens in that trade. So he certainly has not hit much in his brief big league career. A lot of speed at third base in Millage.
Good pitch to hit for Ohlendorf, and he knew it. Suppan tried to sink the fastball, left it up and down the middle. Suppan needs to get that ball down. Get it down, get a ground ball.
Brewers have already turned 1 double play. Oh, 2. Millage at third. That's Moss at second. And Cedeno at first. Millage singled to start the inning. Moss had a double. Cedeno intentionally walked. And the Pirates threatening early. Top of the order would be next. And a dangerous hitter in McCutchen. Key pitch here for Jeff Suppan. Ball and 2 strikes.
You want to stay hard on the hands of most pitchers when they're at the plate. Really, the only thing they can get the bat on is something off speed up out over the plate. And that 0-2 pitch, the one right before the last one, was a good pitch for a pitcher to handle. A slider that's up in the zone.
And a bouncer. Counsell has it. Will step on the bag and a throw to first in time.
Wow, nice play.
Counsell standing in there tough. He had to redirect. And he took a shot from Ronnie Cedeno. What a double play that was. Out of the inning. Pirates come up empty.
In the bottom of the second inning. The Brewers do have a game plan in place in regards to call-ups for September, but they're also anticipating the return of a lot of their regular guys, meaning Corey Hart, who took batting practice for the first time during this series, and he's now taking balls out in the outfield. He's doing some running, and Ken Macha said he's hoping to get Corey Hart out on an assignment after the next series in St. Louis, and then they'll see if he's ready to come back. So that's one guy. Also, Jesus Calame, he threw off the mound today, and when I asked him how did he felt afterwards, he said bueno, which is good in Spanish, of course. And then it's Seth McClung, he's throwing now off flat ground. So a lot of guys making their return, and when you add the September call-ups, then we'll see how this Brewers team as a whole will play the rest of the way, guys.
All right, Telly, thanks a lot. It was good to see Corey Hart taking fly balls today. Ed Cedar was out early, hitting fungos out to Corey Hart, so he's getting himself back into baseball shape.
That rosters expand on Tuesday.
Prince Fielder leads off and takes a hack at the first pitch from Ohlendorf. Rosters expand to 40 if you like, but the Brewers are only going to expand them by maybe 5 or 6. That's the plan for Ken Macha and Doug Melvin. Unlike last year, where the Brewers, I believe, at one point had 35 players in the dugout. Fielder hits that one hard into center field, and McCutchen is right there for it. Well, Prince, the first out. Ohlendorf has retired 4 straight as we get started here today.
Well, Ohlendorf has been mixing his pitches pretty well already, with one out in the second inning. You know, his first 2 starts against the Brewers, he was pounding the fastball in on the Brewers, and they were getting a lot of ground ball outs. He's mixed in the curveball. He's thrown a couple of change-ups, mixing it up a little bit more because of all the left-handers in the lineup.
Sinks one in for a strike. Casey McGehee with one away.
The only way you can have as much success, against one team like Ohlendorf has had against the Brewers is to be able to make adjustments. Don't establish a pattern and stick to it the whole year. You got to pitch a little bit differently because hitters are going to get wise to what you're doing.
Well, if there's anybody who has the mental side of the game handled, it is Ross Ohlendorf, a Princeton grad. McGehee sends one deep to left field. That is well hit, and that one is down in the corner. A fair ball and a home run. Casey McGehee with number 11 just snuck it inside the foul pole. And the Brewers are on the board.
Well, Ohlendorf leads an off-speed pitch up in the strike zone, and Casey able to wait back just long enough to keep it fair. Good fastball hitter, a hanging curveball that was middle in, and Casey did a nice job not just to hit it hard but to keep it fair. That's a ball right there. A lot of hitters are going to hook foul. They're going to hit it hard but not be able to keep it inside that foul pole.
Right into your living room. 1-0 Brewers on McGee's 11th homer.
Keeps those hands close to the body nicely. The knob of the bat leads the barrel. That's how you keep that ball fair. Get that bat head out in front too quick, just hook it foul. It's a loud strike.
Jody Garrett pops it up to the shortstop, Cedeno, and that is out number 2.
That's what he's talking about. See him keeping those hands close to the body. It's the only way you can keep that ball fair. A lot of guys going to hook that ball foul. Watch the hands. The hands stay close to the belly button. Pop the hips open. It's all about the hips on a ball like that. I mean, if you don't pop the hips open, it's all arms. There's no way you keep that ball fair.
That home run for McGehee puts him in third among National League rookies in home runs. Garrett Jones with 15, Colby Rasmus with 14, and now McGehee with 11. And McGehee is in the top 4 in batting average. He's also up there in RBIs. That's RBI number 40 for Casey. That's 4th among National League rookies as well. So he's right there in all the major categories for the position players in the National League as far as rookies go. Starting to look like the rookie of the year in the National League is going to be a pitcher this year. As Kendall pops it up. Long run for Moss, and he's got it for the out in foul territory. And the side retired, but Casey at the bat delivers the first run of the game, and it's 1-0 Crew. What a great day it is at Miller Park. Boy, this is why you love baseball, no matter the standings. Roof is open, sun is out. Beautiful 60-degree day in the Midwest. Casey McGehee has the Brewers on top. A home run in the second inning. McGee's 11th of the year. And now Suppan works with a lead as he starts his third inning of work. 2 double plays turned for the Brewers defensively. And Suppan's been able to work out of a couple of jams early. Here's Lopez. And Andrew McCutchen retired for out number 1. Time to get your fantasy camp registration forms filled out and sent in. We'd love to have you in Arizona January 31st to February 7th. When all that snow's on the ground and it's freezing cold here. It's beautiful in Arizona. It's baseball time. In your first week of February. All you got to do is log on to the web, brewers.com/fantasycamp, or you can call 262-679-3612.
Short sleeves and pine tar in February. Anything better?
All starts with a little, a day of training.
Right.
You get all the clinics from the various coaches. All of them former big leaguers. Some of them big league managers, current or former. And then you begin to play games every day the next day. So that's when it gets really fun.
Yeah. All-inclusive package, everything included. So you don't have to think about anything once you sign up. We do it all for you.
Delwyn Young with 1 away. Young rolled into a 4-6-3 double play his last time up. He hit it sharply, but right at Lopez. Young came to the Pirates from the Dodgers last season. As the shadows begin to creep towards the pitcher's mound. Hitters will tell you it's tough to see when the shadows get past the mound here at Miller Park.
Yeah, when the pitcher and the home plate and everything is in the shadows, and the batter's eyes in the bright sunshine, that's when it gets tough. Tough for the eyes to focus from bright sunshine, which is behind the pitcher, into the shadows. But right now, not too bad. But you know what? It's the same for both teams.
And it's the same in most ballparks.
Yeah.
During the daytime, the upper deck always creates the long shadows. I think most hitters would prefer to hit, in the daytime without shadows. Arizona, you go to Arizona spring training, there aren't the upper decks, and you have the ball and all of its abundant sunshine, right? But you start getting to the big leagues, most hitters would rather play night games where the light situation is consistent with no shadows.
And you're used to it. I mean, large majority of your games are at night. Keep that routine. Brewers have scuffled in day games this year. One of the many mysteries of this team this year. Day game record.
One thing the Brewers have tried to do differently here the last couple of times around with day baseball as Young grounds out. They've gone for the team stretch. Ken Macha, not something you normally see. Teams stretching all together. Normally they stretch in groups, relievers, position players, bench players. But the Brewers are 15-26 in day games this year. That's an alarming number. 11 under 500. So Macha has kind of implemented the team stretch, the team unity, get together. We're here ready to play baseball today.
And no BP on the field today. Second time that the Brewers have done the no batting practice on the field in day games. Did it on Thursday.
Garrett Jones sends one high in the air, deep to right, way out of here. And the Pirates have tied it up. Jones, the big home run slugger, with his 16th of the year. Just like that, all tied at 1.
And mistakes with a fastball. You can't do it against this team. Can't do it against most teams, but particularly early in the count, because these guys are sitting up there looking for heater. They get one anywhere close to where they want it, and that one right down the middle. It was supposed to be in on his hands. He back legs it out of here. Second deck.
Some kind of power, Garrett Jones. And he has a classic home run hitter's swing, too.
Slight uppercut. And the amazing thing about Jones, he's got that slight uppercut, still has good power to the opposite field. Most guys that do that and use that back leg ordinarily pull the baseball a lot. It's all a matter of where the pitch is. I guess that dictates how you're going to swing at it. And he felt as though he had a ball to pull and did a good job of pulling it.
16 homers in just 51 games for Jones. Suppan strikes out Doman, and the inning is over, but the Pirates tie it as we head to the home third. Tony in Green Bay wants to know, what is the strangest pregame routine you've ever seen? Well, we might have had one earlier today. This might have been the strangest I'd ever seen.
That batting stance guy entertaining the troops in group stretch in center field.
They were enjoying it. It's kind of an impromptu deal. The Brewers are going through their team stretch, and somebody waved over the batting stance guy, and he entertained them as they stretched.
Takes a lot of guts, doesn't it?
Go stand in the middle of a Major League Baseball team.
Yeah, and he had them. He had their attention from the first second he was out there. Did a good job. Guys liked it. Had a good time.
He had them at hello. Prince Fielder is known as quite an aficionado of impressions and batting stances. I mean, as a matter of fact, he's known worldwide as one of the best imitators of other stances, and so it was kind of a good match to see Fielder and the batting stance guy. If you caught Brewers Live pregame, you saw it all. It's pretty funny.
My favorite Prince Fielder impersonation is when does Jason Kendall.
As Catalinato singles back up the middle, and the second hit for the Brewers.
Well, the 5 lefties in that lineup, hopefully is going to pay dividends for the Brewers today. You mentioned an opponent batting average against lefties coming in at 306, as opposed to a little over 220 against righties. You know, Ross Ollendorf last year, left-handed batters hit 370 against them. He certainly made some adjustments this year.
Probably has mostly to do with the changeup, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, good changeup. He's been able to command his curveball. Probably the best pitcher right now in the big leagues that nobody's ever heard of. I mean, as far as what he's been able to do since the All-Star break.
I think you're right. He's 4-1 with an ERA at 2.7 since the All-Star break. He's only 27 years of age. Big right-hander from Austin, Texas. Augie Garrido thought he had him signed and sealed to play for the University of Texas. Ollendorf's parents both work for the university, so they thought that was a done deal. But Ollendorf decided to go to Princeton, putting academics ahead of athletics. And he said, you know, if I have enough talent, I'll make it anyway. And he went to Princeton, got his degree, and sure enough, in the big leagues at a pretty young age. Suppan gets the bunt down. Ollendorf goes to second for one. The return throw is in time, and a double play.
Yeah, good quick throw to second base. No hesitation. Ryan Doumit, the catcher, barking out orders to his pitcher to throw it to second right away. And they're able to turn the double play. Suppan tries to deaden the baseball, not able to do it. Hit it too hard, got it on the sweet spot. And the rest is, as they say, history. Another double play for the Pirates. They continue to be up amongst league leaders in the National League and turning double plays.
That is their 137th double play of the year. Only the Cardinals have turned more double plays. Cardinals have turned 138. Somebody lost a bet. Is that the sweep attire right there? It's got the little broom going.
Yeah, little broom up at the top. Looks like a little Napoleon cap, doesn't it?
It's got a kazoo in one hand. Nice.
I like the tights. He looked good in the tights. Want to try that on an open one night? That look?
He's kind of got the Nacho Libre look going, don't you think?
Yeah.
Look at this guy. He's got a busy shirt. Looking at this other guy going, man, what are you wearing?
I would imagine that man had a very good night last night. Didn't remember the bet that he made, but there's the result.
He's got swim goggles on, and I love it. Ollendorf strikes out Lopez, and the side retired, as Nacho Libre says. Get up next time, boys.
his 11th of the season, but the Pirates will come right back to tie it up in the top of the third when it's Garrett Jones with a solo home run to right, and that's where we stand now, guys, and we'll see if it will continue this way.
All tied at 1 here as we head to the 4th, and Lastings Milledge leads off. Suppan giving up a home run to Garrett Jones. The Brewers pitching staff allowing 177 home runs this year, the most by far in the major leagues. It has been an issue for sure. The Brewers hit a lot of home runs and they give up a lot of home runs.
Yep, live by the sword, die by the sword, right? Well, a little bit of that has to do with Miller Park. It's a pretty good hitter's ballpark, particularly on a day like today. Everything opened up. Nice warm day here at the ballpark.
Milledge, another base hit. Just about the same spot as his last one. And the Pirates have their leadoff runner aboard for the 3rd time in this game. 3 out of 4 innings they've had their first batter reach.
In the second series that we've seen Lastings Milledge in the everyday lineup, and he loves the off-speed pitches, the sliders, particularly the ones that stay down in the heart of the plate. You get him out with hard stuff inside. He loves to get the bat extended, something off speed, and he doesn't really miss too many of them.
Milledge has had a big series, 2 more hits today. 6 hits already in the 3-game series for Lastings Milledge. Matter of fact, the Brewers have only retired him 3 times in this series. He was thrown out trying to steal yesterday. Kendall gunned him down. Unlike McCutchen, Milledge very fast, but not as polished yet as a base stealer.
There's a lot to learn about stealing bases. It's not just, you know, raw speed that's going to make you a good base stealer. Davey Nelson can speak to that as well as anybody. A base running coach in his career. You got to know how to read pitchers, get your lead. You know, and that first step, very important in stealing base. You can see, you know, Milledge doesn't really have that big a lead, which means he doesn't feel that comfortable getting off the bag.
Ball and 2 strikes on Brandon Moss. He doubled his last time up. Brewers have already turned 2 double plays, and Moss able to lay off a changeup. 2-2 the count. That one's well hit to center, but Jody Garrett is right there for it. 1 gone in the 4th, and it leads us to today's Aflac trivia question. Aflac! Duck wants to know, did Jason Kendall's father, Fred, also play catcher during his Major League Baseball career? I feel compelled to answer that, but we'll wait for the Duck to answer.
So our Aflac question today, yes or no?
It just kind of hangs out there for a little bit.
Right.
Discuss it amongst yourselves. Go to the books.
50-50 shot at it.
And yes, his dad's name was Fred.
Majority of his career, if not all of it, I think, with San Diego.
Mm-hmm. Yep, started his career, finished his career as a Padre. Fred Kendall.
Do you think the fact that Jason's a catcher, is that a coincidence?
We'll have to wait and see. His dad could have been a pitcher.
Of course, the Boone brothers weren't catchers. Bob Boone, their father, a catcher.
And then the grandfather, Ray Boone,
catcher.
The tools of brilliance. Is your dad a catcher?
No.
Oh, he was a principal.
Right. He was a middle infielder at Trenton State in Jersey.
Millage still at first. Andy LaRoche down in the count, no balls and a strike. LaRoche swung at the first pitch his last time up and popped one foul with 2 on and nobody out. Brings his bat. McGee. His only play is first base, and it's out number 2. Suppan got one in on the hands of Andy LaRoche, and he's 0 for 2 against Jeff Suppan.
Yeah, good movement on that fastball. Talking about finishing the delivery and letting it go. Good life as it eats him up inside. Hit so poorly that Casey didn't even have a play at second base. Millen's getting down there in good shape. Good movement going in on the hands. That's the movement that Jason Kendall likes to talk about with respect to Suppan. But with all the movement that Sup can have with his pitches, he still has to be fine on the corners and keep it down. Doesn't have the velocity to make mistakes.
Again, Cedeno will be intentionally walked. Second time he's been walked. You don't see many 8th place hitters intentionally walked in consecutive at-bats. But with the pitcher coming up next, Brewers will make sure they have every chance to get out of this inning. So Suppan has now given up 3 walks, 2 of them intentional.
Now 51 times the Brewers have walked the opponent intentionally. Remember last year, the Brewers very rarely walked a batter intentionally. The Brewers up amongst league leaders in that category this year. A little difference in philosophy.
And Ned Yost subscribing to the Bobby Cox theory of intentional walks. A little different case with Ken Maka.
Yeah, the Dodgers lead baseball, or lead the National League in intentional walks. 53 they've issued. The Brewers now tied for second most, 51.
Ross Ohlendorf, the Pirate pitcher, bounces one in the hole, cut off by Counsell.
Nice play.
And that saves a run. Ohlendorf with just his 4th hit, an infield hit. Counsell able to save a run. Millage would have scored easily if that ball gets through.
And that's a nice play by Counsell. You're taught at a very young age. You get a ground ball with 2 outs, a man at second base. You do whatever you can to keep it in the infield to keep that run from scoring. If that ball sneaks into left field, Millage is going to be able to walk home. Well done. Although he didn't get an out, a very good defensive play by Counsell.
So the bases are loaded now. And we go back to the top of the order. A dangerous hitter, Andrew McCutchen. McCutchen has extended his hitting streak to 12 games with a single in the first inning. He's 1 for 2 today. And he rolls one out to second. Suppan broke his bat, and the Pirates again strand the bases loaded. So Suppan does a nice job to get out of another mess. We're all tied at 1. Big boys coming up. Braun and Fielder will hit in the bottom of the 4th when we come back.
A dozen of his teammates showed up to help support, and the 13 participants of the New Look camp were also there. Over $25,000 was raised to help support this venture for Mike Cameron. And guys, it was a lot of fun to be had, but if you're wondering who were the best bowler and the worst bowler, the best bowler went to Mark DeFelice, and Mike Cameron didn't fare so well, but he said since he had all those hosting duties, that was the reason why he really couldn't concentrate and be on top of his game. So there you have it.
I can understand that, being the host. Tough gig. DeFelice was the champion bowler, and he bowled left-handed. He didn't even bowl with his normal bowling hand.
Got a lot of talents, doesn't he?
Cuts hair, bowls left-handed.
Cuts his own hair.
Council slices one into left. Millage runs it down for out number one.
Cuts his own hair without the use of a mirror.
That was discovered on Brewers Live just the other day, as a matter of fact.
Man.
Everybody's waiting for the duck because they want to know, did Jason Kendall's father, Fred, also play catcher during his Major League career? And the answer is yes. Jason, 1,882 games caught. Fred, 795. His dad was involved in a couple of big trades, big name trades. He was involved in the George Hendrick deal with the Cleveland Indians as Braun lines one to left and 2 quick outs here in this 4th inning. Fred Kendall was also involved in the deal that sent Dennis Eckersley to the Boston Red Sox. And Fred Kendall was sent with Eckersley from Cleveland to Boston.
Trade bait. Fred Kendall, huh?
And that's why he started his career in San Diego and then ultimately finished it as a Padre as well.
But you know who Jason Kendall credits most for his baseball career? Who do you think, right? Mom.
Mom.
Because Dad was always gone playing.
Dad's playing. Mom's out in the back throwing wiffle balls. Fielder with 2 outs. Fielder 36 home runs. He homered in 3 consecutive games until that run was snapped last night. On with 28. Fielder 119 RBIs. That leads all of baseball. Prince belted his 150th career home run back on Friday night. Ollendorf with a lot of movement on his fastball, and it's 2-2 to Fielder. Prince is 4th in the league in homers and leads not just the National League, but all of baseball in RBIs. Ryan Howard has 111 runs batted in. He's 2nd. Fielder with 119. Still got a chance to win the home run title as well. Pujols is the league leader with 41 home runs. Mark Reynolds in Arizona has 40. And then Ryan Howard with 37, and then Prince.
Yeah, Brewers are going to see Mark Reynolds and the Diamondbacks later in mid part of September.
You'll see all 3 of those home run hitters, as a matter of fact. The Cardinals, the Phillies, and the D-backs all on the schedule. Ollendorf strikes out Fielder, and a 1-2-3 inning. All tied at 1 at Miller Park. We head to the 5th inning. The Pirates are coming up. Suppan back on the mound. Good ball game today. Tied at 1, the Brewers and the Pirates as we head to the 5th. Want to remind you that this coming Saturday, the Brewers are back on national TV and they're taking on the wild card hopefuls, the San Francisco Giants. Fox Saturday Baseball presents the National Game of the Week. Pablo Sandoval and company in town here at Miller Park, 3 p.m. Central, only on Fox. Plenty of sunshine today on a beautiful Sunday in Milwaukee. They had a good ball game so far. All tied at 1. The Pirates have 6 hits and 3 walks. They've had 9 base runners in this game, but a couple of double plays turned. And Supan's been able to pitch out of 3 jams already, as that one is whistled down the right field line, and that is a foul ball. Just missed the line by inches.
Kind of deceiving walk totals for Jeff Suppan, because 2 of the 3 walks have been intentional to Ronnie Cedeno. So although Suppan's pitch count at 75 right now as we start the 5th inning, he's been doing a good job throwing strikes.
And wouldn't you guess, the cleanest inning for Suppan in this game as far as pitches and outs was the 3rd inning, and that was the inning the Pirates scored. Suppan faced just 4 batters, had a strikeout in that inning, and only 14 pitches, and yet he gave up a home run to Garrett Jones with 2 away. Twice the Pirates have had the bases loaded and have left 6 men on in this game. Lopez handles Delwyn Young for out number 1.
Off-speed pitches for Suppan much better today than they were in his first start since coming back from the disabled list, and you would figure that. And after a month off, it's tough to command, you know, the curveballs and the changeups. Those are the pitches that require that touch and feel out there in the mound. And you figure as he gets more starts in the second half, as the season winds down, you figure those pitches to be much better for him.
Suppan against Garrett Jones once again. Jones has walked and homered against Sup today. He belted his 16th home run of the year in the 3rd inning. Has 3 hits in this series. Jones has power to all fields. Well, he got one inside he can handle, and a classic home run pose as he sent one into the 2nd level here at Miller Park.
Yeah, good balance on the finish. It's like hitting a good golf shot, right? Just stand there for the pose. A good swing like that for Garrett Jones. You can see the weight equally distributed front and back. That's the way you want to finish your swing, no matter, you know, where the pitch is. You have good balance, pretty good chance. You're going to have good power behind your swing.
Jones is one of those diamonds in the rough that the Pirates found. He's 28 years of age. He was in the big leagues in 07 with Minnesota. Just a brief appearance. 31 games in the major leagues. He was having a hard time breaking through as he lines that one to center. A base hit. Jones on base for the 3rd time. That leads us to our U.S. Cellular text to vote question. We wrap it up today. It was 20 years ago this week that Pete Rose received a lifetime ban from baseball. And that brings us to our question for you. Should Pete Rose be reinstated into the game? You can text your answer to 234-234. Text W for yes, X for no. And we'll have the results at the end of the game, all brought to you by U.S. Cellular. Well, if Suppan stays healthy, he figures to get 6 more starts the rest of the year if all things map out. Suppan prides himself on making 30 starts a year, and that goal of pitching in 200 innings. He's going to come up short this year after missing a month with the oblique injury. But he has had an amazing career staying healthy. He went 12 years without a trip to the disabled list. That includes a run through Pittsburgh. Suppan pitched in Boston and Kansas City, Been a Pittsburgh Pirate, and then the Cardinals, and then the Brewers. He was briefly with the Arizona Diamondbacks, an expansion pick by the Diamondbacks in '98, and then traded to Kansas City later that year.
Yeah, for the most part, has been able to keep his arm healthy because of his delivery. He uses his legs very well. For a guy that doesn't throw very hard, drives off the back leg pretty good, taking the pressure off the elbow and the shoulder. It's those guys that finish with that stiff front leg that really rely on, all arm, throwing all arm. Suppan doesn't do that. And pitchers ordinarily that use their legs, their biggest muscles, when they throw the baseball, are going to stay healthy, unless they have leg injuries, of course. Like a guy like Roy Oswalt.
A bouncer over to Counsell, fires to Lopez, who makes the turn, and it's in time for the double play. Hey, you won't see one better than that all day. Counsell to Lopez to Fielder. An incredible double play. 6-4-3, and Suppan and the Brewers are out of the fifth. Something else right there. AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered.
And that brings us to today's time of the game winner at Shenanigans Bar in Sheboygan, Wisconsin. If they call the Brewers by 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, they get 40 tickets to, now check this, pay attention, an April or May game next year.
Next season.
This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite. Remember, we were talking, not that many home games left.
That's right.
So if you call in Shenanigans, somebody from Shenanigans, you get tickets for next year.
Well, that'll be something to hang on to all winter. The long, cold months, and you can prepare for your April visit. Well done, Rock. Nice disclaimer.
Yeah, I would imagine opening day is not available.
Home game number 65 here today of 81. Brewers have just 2 homestands remaining. And just 3 road trips left. Casey McGee homered his last time up. Put the Brewers on the board. One of only 2 hits against Ross Ollendorf today. McGee took a hanging curveball over the fence and left. Now McGee, his Powerball home run number 11. Long ball to left. 2-2 to McGee. Casey with 40 runs batted in now. A little concerned about McGee today. You know, his batting stance routine. The batting stance guy who's here today was kind of pointing out a couple of things about McGee. We shared those with McGee, and he had no idea. I don't want to give him. I'm glad he homered. Yeah. Now I feel better about it. You don't want to shake anybody's routine up, right?
You don't want him thinking about what he's doing in there in his pre-at-bat setup. I mean, it's like a habit. It's like brushing your teeth. We were talking about this before the game. You brush your teeth every day. I hope you do anyway. And I bet you use the same strokes, each and every day, but you don't think about it, do you?
It's just part of the deal. There's a little bouncer, took a side spin, and Casey McGee has an infield hit to start the 5th inning. One of the things that we noticed about McGee is the way he grabs his helmet, and I noticed he hasn't done it in his at-bats today.
Well, he's got 2 hits, 2 for 2. That one way down in the trademark. I have no idea why a Pirate didn't even come close to this ball. Had some English on it. What I was getting at with the brushing the teeth is basically guys have that same routine, whether it's on the on-deck circle or in the batter's box before a pitch comes. They don't think about it. It's just habits. They've done it their whole life.
And apparently McGee used to tap down his helmet like this.
Right.
But he hasn't done it today. Don't want to rattle anybody's routine. We're just observing. We just report.
You don't want the batting stance guy getting into anybody's head, right?
Casey has 2 hits in his first 2 tries against Ohlendorf, and 2 of the 3 Brewers hits. And for the first time, well, actually the second time, the Brewers have their leadoff runner aboard. Catalanato led off in the 3rd, but was wiped out on a double play ball. '27-year-old Ross Ohlendorf, his 3rd start against the Brewers. He's gone 7+ and only 1 run, and 5 innings and only 2 runs allowed. As Garrett sends one to left, Millage right there, and it's out number 1. Well, speaking of batting stance guy, he had a stance off with Prince Fielder, who did a mean Jason Kendall impression earlier today. Check it out.
Okay, watch the whole thing. Like, if you look at Jason run, it's like, watch, so it goes. Okay.
You gotta have the fingers too.
The leg he had. You ever see his leg?
That's perfect, isn't it?
It was dead on.
And Jason Kendall saw that early on today, and he laughed harder than anybody. That's because of all the catching. I mean, he has no real control of the legs.
Good to see Prince having a little fun before the game. And Prince is very good at impressions as far as batting stances go in his own right.
And he's been doing that since he was a kid.
He's got Jason Kendall down to a T. I've never noticed that about his legs when he runs.
A little exaggeration.
Well, for effect.
Yeah.
It's the theatrics of it.
Just to make the point.
Well, Kendall flew out to right his last time up in foul territory. As McGee at first. Ohlendorf having a tough time connecting with Doman. Now he's ready. And it's in the dirt. Jason Kendall, former Pirate, had some of his best years as a Pittsburgh Pirate. He was an all-star with the Pirates. He was the leadoff hitter on the opening day when they unveiled their new stadium, PNC Park, as a matter of fact. Kendall, a 3-time All-Star as a member of the Pirates. Back in the late 90s. His last All-Star game was 2000 as he pulls one. That's a fair ball. Down the line off the top. McGee on his way to third. Kendall will roll into second. And the Brewers in business as Kendall doubles down the line. 2 in scoring position with 1 out.
Now Jason Kendall continues to get that batting average up there at 245 coming into that at bat. That's going to go up. Able to get a pitch middle in. They tried to come in. They got it in there, but Jason able to get enough of the barrel of the bat on it just inside the third baseline. And now second and third with Frank Catalanotto coming up.
See if the fielder's got the rundown. It's pretty good. Now you really see it. Okay. So Catalanotto is going to be walked here. Setting up a matchup with Ohlendorf and Suppan, who's been swinging the bat well this year.
Well, the way the bullpen's been used so far in this homestand, I think that Ken Macher would like to be able to get at least 1 more, maybe 2 innings out of Suppan. A little bit early to be pinch hitting, I would think. Got to let him go up there, eat up a couple of innings. Brewers used 3 relievers in yesterday's ball game.
Now Suppan this year has 6 hits, has 3 runs batted in, and 7 sacrifice bunts. Despite bunting into a double play his last time up, he is one of the better bunters the Brewers have.
Well, you would think he'd be a pretty good candidate for a squeeze.
McGee is the base runner at third, below average speed, especially with the knee injury. Bases loaded, 1 away, and Suppan takes a strike.
It's always more difficult to squeeze with the bases loaded because you don't have to make a tag at home plate. A force out makes that bunt a little bit more difficult to get down. It's got to be much better.
Now Suppan had Ohlendorf in a similar spot in the second inning. Suppan had walked Cedeno to get to the Pirate pitcher, and Ohlendorf obliged with a ground ball double play that ended the inning. But Ohlendorf singled off Suppan last time up. 6 sacrifice bunts for Sup. And he takes it to 2-1.
Well, if you're going to squeeze, this will be a great time for it, a 2-1 count. And you know Ohlendorf doesn't want to go 3-1. Brad Fisher going to have a conversation with his pitcher. He's trying to put it into the Pirates' head. I think if you were going to squeeze, I don't think you're going to have 2 meetings with your pitcher at the plate. You kind of give it away that when you do that. But we'll see.
Suppan has walked 3 times this year. And you got to think he's going to get a pitch to handle. 2 balls and a strike, and a fastball right down the chute for strike 2. Another thing to remember, Suppan coming off an oblique injury. We'll see how aggressive he is swinging the bats. 2 balls, 2 strikes, bases loaded, and Suppan taking ball 3. I'm not sure Suppan is going to swing the bat here. At least he doesn't look like it. Or else he's got a great eye.
Some pretty close pitches that he's taken here.
Standing right on top of the plate, putting the pressure on Ohlendorf. 3-2 the count, and he walks him. Jeff Suppan draws a bases loaded walk, and the Brewers have taken the lead here 2-1.
Never even looked like he wanted to swing the bat. Up there to take, and Ohlendorf surprisingly walks him. The first walk of the game for Ohlendorf, except for that intentional walk, came at a perfect time for the Brewers. How about that? That's not even close.
Well, Suppan gets an RBI the easy way. And a hot hitter is coming up. Felipe Lopez. Since the trade to the Brewers from the Arizona Diamondbacks, Lopez a .340 batting average with 20 runs batted in. He's also scored 24 runs. He has been everything and more that you could ask from a leadoff hitter.
Has been cooled off a little bit last couple of days, which means he's due. And pretty good time to break out of it right now.
Hitless in this series. Has been bothered by an injured foot. His right toe giving him a lot of trouble. Lopez in just his 39th game as a Brewer. That .340 average and the 20 runs batted in. Bases loaded, one away. And a strike from Ohlendorf. Changeup. Two hits and 2 walks in this inning. One of the walks intentional. And Lopez chases one. It's 0-2.
Good curveball that time from Ohlendorf. He got ahead with the changeup, threw the curveball down in the zone, and Lopez couldn't hold up. Been pretty good with the bases loaded in his career.
Lopez tied for 8th in hitting. Tied with his teammate Ryan Braun for 8th in the National League. The 0-2 in the dirt. Brewers aren't very fast on the bases right now with Kindle, Catalanato, and Suppan. So it's station to station at this point. Catalanato does have a sizable lead at second base. His middle infielders want to make sure they're protecting the holes as much as they can.
Got a lot of room on the right side with first baseman Jones way in, even with the bag.
And the 1-2. Lopez takes a call. Strike 3. Ohlendorf strikes him out. A big out for Ohlendorf.
Good curveball, backdoored it on the outside corner. Check it out. Nice pitch. Throw that curveball. Ordinarily, hitter going to be looking for it. Down and in. That one stayed right on the outside corner.
So it's up to Craig Counsell to do some damage with bases loaded. Another strike. Pouring in the strikes after he walks the pitcher Jeff Suppan.
Didn't throw a fastball to Lopez, and the first pitch to Counsell was a curveball.
Counsell's always been a terrific hitter with the bases loaded. A .385 career average, but is hitless this year. He's 0 for 6 in this type of situation. 0-2. Crew with a chance to open it up. They've taken the lead on a Suppan bases loaded walk. And the 0-2. Counsell takes a ball. Another curveball from Ohlendorf.
Hasn't thrown a fastball since he walked Suppan.
In stark contrast to what the Brewers saw of Ohlendorf in his last start. He was throwing a lot of fastballs and getting a lot of outs quickly with the fastball in his 7+ innings. That was back on August 18th, just a couple of weeks ago. Ollendorf grunting with every pitch. Fastballs and breaking balls. Reminds you of Nolan Ryan a little bit. Ryan Braun would be next. Counsell trying to give him a chance here in this 5th inning. And Counsell, a little flare, it falls. Kendall scores. Here comes Catalanotto. He'll score as Craig Counsell delivers again. A 2 RBI single, and it's 4-1 Brewers.
Yeah, left the curveball up in the zone. Boy, a lot of curveball, a lot of off-speed pitches by Ollendorf. Once he walked Suppan, he only threw 1 in the last 2 hitters. That was a 1-2 fastball to Counsell that he missed with. Another breaking ball. This one stayed up in the zone. It looked like he tried to backdoor it again. Just like the pitch that he was able to get Lopez on. It was away, but up. And Counsell able to slice it just out of the reach of Andy LaRoche. Not by much. And a good thing he didn't hit it hard because, as you mentioned, not great speed on the bases. Catalanotto able to score easily.
2 RBI single. Counsell has now driven in 34 for the season. And he gets Ryan Braun to the plate with men on base here in the 5th. And now a real chance for the Brewers to open it up. Got Braun and Fielder. Ryan is 0 for 2. He did line out his last time up. Ollendorf struck him out with a breaking ball in the 1st inning. Braun with 95 runs batted in. 4th most in the National League to start the day. Fielder, Howard, Pujols, and Braun, the top 4 in the National League in RBIs. And Suppan at second with the jacket on. And Counsell at first. Pittsburgh has good arms in the outfield, especially in left field in Lastings Millich, and McCutchen very accurate thrower in center. The 1-1. Braun lifts it foul and out of play in the seats.
Good pitch to hit right there. You see the reaction from Brawning. How did I miss that? Didn't have much on it. It's supposed to be in. Left it out over the plate and a little bit behind it. That's a good pitch. Braun can't believe he fouled it off.
Ball and 2 strikes to Braun. Spoils another one. It's one of the better fastballs Ollendorf has thrown today. 94 miles an hour.
He still has good life on the fastball. It makes you wonder why he was so adamant about throwing the breaking pitches to Lopez and Counsell. Ended up costing him against Craig. Left one up in the zone and cost him 2 runs. They have a fastball that's getting there in the mid-90s. You wonder why you forget about it when men are on base.
Suppan at second. Counsell at first. Counsell drove in a pair with a single just a moment ago. 4-1 Brewers, and Braun trying to add to it here in the 5th. And he pops him up. McCutchen will make the catch. The inning is over, but the Brewers do some damage. 3-run score, and it's 4-1 Crew. The Wisconsin Lottery and its family of instant scratch games. Odds are you'll like them. By Airtran. Go. There's nothing stopping you. And by Aflac. We've got you under our wing. And this copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Milwaukee Brewers and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent of the Brewers. 4-1, the Crew leads the Pittsburgh Pirates as we head to the 6th inning. Craig Counsell, a big 2 RBI single. Suppan walked with bases loaded to put the Brewers on top in a pivotal at-bat in the 3-run 5th inning for Milwaukee.
Good to see the bottom of the Brewer order getting it done once again today. They were came up big in yesterday's ball game.
Well, the bottom 3 in the order yesterday on base 8 times. Part of that 7-3 Brewers win last night. Inning number 6 for Suppan. His pitch count is at 87. Still in the 3rd time through the batting order. Blasting's Millage has 2 hits against Suppan today. Pirates have 7 hits, but Suppan has been able to work out of some damage thanks to 3 double plays. As Millage squirts 1 foul and out of play.
Soup's done a nice job getting the ball on the ground when he's had to. Haven't been too many fly ball outs today.
Felipe Lopez has been very busy at second base.
I've got 3 fly ball outs. That's pretty good for Suppan. Needs to keep the ball down, get ground balls.
David Weathers beginning to get loose. I suppose Ken Maka will stick with Suppan until any trouble surfaces, as that one gets by McGee. Oh, Casey McGee right there for it and unable to scoop it up, and Millage is aboard once again.
Certainly a ground ball that Casey will tell you he should have played. Couple of hops. It goes to his left and just kind of whiffs on it. See how they're going to score that one. You would think that would be an error.
So Millage at first, on base for the 3rd time, and here's Brandon Moss. And Moss rolls one to Prince. He's got it. Fires to second. And the return throw to Suppan in time. Man, oh man. The 4th double play.
That's nice. That's the toughest of all double plays right there. Started by Prince, gives Counsell a good lead. And Counsell waits just long enough for Suppan to get there, look for the throw. And Suppan waiting for it at first base. Well done. That's a nice double play right there. Our Jimmy John's delivery of the game. The 3 to 6 to 1 double play, the toughest of all double plays to turn, and not even close. Just waits a split second as Counsell for Suppan to be able to collect himself over at the bag.
That's a good play by Suppan as well. There's a lot going on for a pitcher covering first base. Covering the bag, trying to beat the runner. You got to get yourself squared up again to take that throw. And a little trust involved from the shortstop throwing the baseball as well. He basically has to throw to a target that isn't there yet.
Yep.
4 double plays turned by the Brewers today.
And the only way you can do that is for Suppan to keep the ball down, get the ground ball outs. Done a very good job of that today.
That is the most double plays the Brewers have turned in a game all year, as LaRoche sends one deep to right center. Catalanotto right to the spot. And Jeff Suppan is through 6 against his former club. 4-1, the Brewers lead it. Defense has been the story today. 4 double plays and a few In the second inning, Garrett Jones answered with a home run in the top of the third. It was all even at 1 apiece. Then Jeff Suppan drew a bases-loaded walk, and the Brewers took the lead 2-1. Shortly thereafter, Craig Counsell delivered with 2 outs, a 2 RBI single with the bases loaded, and the Brewers a 4-1 lead as we get set for the bottom of the 6th inning. 3 runs on 3 hits for the Crew in the 5th. Ross Ohlendorf has not made many mistakes today, but the Brewers have made him pay, and the time has come as he faces Fielder to lead off this bottom of the 6th inning. Timely hitting and outstanding infield defense. The story so far today for the Brew Crew. Prince is retired 5-3, 1 away in the 6th.
And when Suppan is on his game like he seems to be here today, the infield's going to be very busy. Only 3 fly ball outs off the Pirate bats today. Been a good start for Soup. Looks like he's going to go back out there.
It looks like with the jacket on, he's ready to work, although there is activity in the Brewers bullpen. Ken Maka has David Weathers loosening.
Maybe not. Weathers looks like he's getting ready to come in the ball game.
Weathers last night pitched the 7th. They scored the 7th inning. Casey McGee took a hanging breaking ball out of the ballpark back in the 2nd inning. And a strike from Ohlendorf. Casey 2 for 2. The home run and an infield hit his last time up. His infield hit was a strange one. He got jammed. It broke his bat. It was a little Pop-Tart over the pitcher's head. And when it hit the ground, it took a left turn and skipped away from Ronnie Cedeno, who was charging fast. And Ohlendorf strikes him out. 2 up, 2 down for Ohlendorf. Our Ho-Chunk Gaming Wisconsin text question, Dan in West Dallas. Do players have additional pressure on them on their bobblehead day? That's something we should ask Jeff Suppan today.
I don't know. I never had a bobblehead day. I can't answer that.
I remember, let's see, J.J. Hardy homered on J.J. Hardy bobblehead day. So he had success. Suppan is having success on his bobblehead day.
That's a good Sunday question, though. I mean, not a whole lot of thought to go into answering that one.
And there's really no right or wrong answer.
Right.
Telly Hughes is on the case. He's your man, Dan. He'll find out for you.
Yes.
Is Telly still here? Jody Garrett pops it foul in the seats. Off day tomorrow for the Brewers. Pirates are going to play a day-night doubleheader in Cincinnati.
Hang with them.
Ooh. Brewers enjoying an off day before they start a 3-game series in St. Louis. And the red-hot Cardinals.
That doesn't even count as a road trip, does it? St. Louis and back home.
That's a cute shot. Fun for everyone here today. A lot of families in the ballpark, as is usually the case on a Sunday, but especially this particular Sunday with school starting up this week. Hope that won't keep you from the ballpark. The Brewers are right back home on Friday as Garrett is called out on strikes. To the 7th we go, 4-1 Milwaukee. Brewers head to St. Louis. 6:30 is airtime Tuesday and Wednesday right here on Fox Sports Wisconsin for Brewers Live. And then Thursday is a matinee game in St. Louis. 12:30 airtime again on Fox Sports Wisconsin. The pitching matchup as it stands right now: Braden Looper against Joel Pinheiro on Tuesday. Wednesday will be Dave Bush against Chris Carpenter, who's 14-3 this year. And Manny Parra against John Smoltz on Thursday. John Smoltz in a Cardinals uniform will be making his 3rd start. And he's had 2 real good starts for St. Louis already. So that's the matchup coming up. David Weathers is in relief of Jeff Suppan, who goes 6 innings. Weathers pitching in consecutive games. He pitched a scoreless 7th yesterday, retiring the side in order.
Yeah, Brewer bullpen last 2 games has eaten up 7 innings and has not allowed a run. Only allowed 3 base hits, so those guys have been pretty good in this series so far.
Cedeno takes a ball, works ahead in the count, 3-1. It's the first time today that Cedeno has been pitched to. Has intentionally walked twice. Well, Jeff Suppan's line shows 3 walks, 1 strikeout, but 2 of those walks to set up double play opportunities. And Cedeno a big rip. 4 double plays turned in this game by the Brewers.
Well, they have just reversed the error to Casey McGee on last inning's Millage. They have decided it's a base hit.
So 8 hits for the Pirates. Take the error off the board. Suppan goes 6 innings, 8 hits, 1 run that was earned. The Garrett Jones homer, 3 walks and 1 strikeout. Good day for Suppan, and he pitched out of some trouble. Continued to get his ground balls, and 4 double plays later, he's got a chance to win his 6th game of the year.
Well, you change it to a hit, really doesn't hurt anybody. Casey McGee happy, doesn't have an error. Last inning's Millage with a base hit, and Suppan didn't allow a run, so why not? Although it looked like a ball that should have been able to be made for an out. Nobody cares.
Everybody's happy.
Right.
That's a win-win situation.
7 hits, 8 hits, it really doesn't matter.
Weathers strikes out Cedeno. Was behind in the count 3-1, comes all the way back to get his man. Double plays today, Rock. That has been the story in this game.
They had 4 of them, and the toughest was the last one that they were able to turn. That was a pretty good play in its own right. Craig Counsell able to take that play on his own. I'll tell you, 3 of the 4 double plays actually have been were very good double plays. Craig Counsell over to Jeff Suppan, the 3 to 6 to 1 double play, the toughest of all double plays. So 3 of the 4, certainly not conventional, certainly not room service double plays.
A high degree of difficulty. So Suppan gives Ken Macha and Chris Bosio exactly what they were hoping for today. As Ramon Vasquez pinch hitting here in the 7th. Skies one out to Joni Garrett for out number 2.
And the Brewers are pleased to offer a special ticket package with the Harley-Davidson Museum. For $20, you can receive a Terrace Reserve ticket to one of 2 remaining home games, as well as tickets to the Harley-Davidson Museum. The 2 remaining games are September 7th and the 9th versus the Cardinals. Visit Brewers.com or call 414-902-4000 for ticket details.
2 outs, top of the order. Here's McCutchen. 1 for 3 today. McCutchen extended his hitting streak to 12 games with a base hit in the first. Suppan got him to ground out twice to second base. And when he induced the ground ball in the 4th, McCutchen was up there with the bases loaded.
And both of the ground outs to second base came on the first pitch. I wish we had a record in this series of either a combination of first pitch base hits and first pitch outs. There's been a lot by the Pirate hitters. They don't mess around. They see something they like, they're going after it. There's no work in the count with most of these guys. Nothing wrong with that, I don't think.
Weathers strikes out McCutchen. And a good inning for the veteran reliever David Weathers. 3 up, 3 down with a pair of punch-outs. 4-1, the Brewers lead it. We invite you to stay with us now and enjoy Miller Park's presentation of God Bless America.
6 strong innings, only 1 earned run, Davey, the beneficiary of 4 double plays.
Well, you know, and that's a good sign because that means Jeff was getting ground balls, and that's what he needed to do, keep the ball down in the strike zone. And boy, he had some great defense behind him.
And how about him at the plate as well? The bases loaded walk that put his team ahead 2-1. They lead at 4-1 right now as they go to bat in the bottom of the 7th inning. This is the type of performance you like, Brian and Bill.
No question, it's something the Brewers desperately needed from Jeff Suppan. They need their starters to do just what he did today. And see if the Brewers can put a little run together. Chance to win for the 3rd time today. They've got a chance to sweep the Pittsburgh Pirates. Suppan goes 6 innings. Remember the 3 walks, 2 of those were intentional walks, and in 94 pitches gives up just the 1 run. The Brewers have beaten the Pirates here at Miller Park 20 consecutive games. Got a chance to go to 21 as Chris Buchek is on the pitch. Ross Ohlendorf finishes with 6 innings and 4 runs allowed. A couple of walks, 6 strikeouts. Suppan in line for the win, Ohlendorf the loss, as this one belongs to the bullpens the rest of the way.
And keep in mind our Piggly Wiggly scouting report when we talked about the run support for Ohlendorf. 3 runs the Pirates have scored for him when he's been on the mound in his 8 losses, only 1 today. So things are looking good as far as the numbers go for the Brewers.
Kendall draws a walk. Second time Kendall has been aboard. Brewers have a leadoff runner.
Fans, you can enter an online auction at Brewers.com for a chance to watch the Crew take on the Phillies on Friday, September 25th. From some of the best seats in the house, Ryan Braun Suite, the winner will get 12 game tickets, 2 preferred parking passes, ballpark fare, and a chance to meet Ryan Braun after batting practice. Proceeds will be donated to Brewers charities with an earmark for the Little Brewers Baseball Club.
Here's Frank Catalanotto with a runner on. Catalanotto walked and scored last time up. He singled in the 3rd inning. We hit the air today talking about the dominance of the Brewers over the Pirates in this ballpark. Earlier this year they had their consecutive winning streak at 17. It was finally snapped in Pittsburgh. That was overall, but the home winning streak continues, a streak that started in 2007 and is the 4th longest in the history of the National League, going back to 1900. Kendall takes off. Domit's throw to second, not in time. Kendall able to keep a hand in there, and he steals the base.
How about the fleet-footed Jason Kendall last couple of days? A delayed steal in yesterday's ball game. The delayed steal more the result of being a very smart base runner. This one just flat burning up the bases.
Well, it wasn't too long ago Kendall was a big base stealer. Matter of fact, when he was a Pirate, he had 3 consecutive seasons of 20+ stolen bases. And a rare catcher hitting leadoff. He was hitting 300 every year and stealing 20+ bases every year as a Pirate. He's at second for Catalanotto. 2-2.
Yeah, that AstroTurf at Three Rivers Stadium just played right into Jason Kendall's game. A lot of ground balls. Had good speed.
Kendall played in Pittsburgh 9 seasons. 6 of those seasons hit at least 300 or better. Catalanotto down on strikes. Out number 1. It's interesting that the Pirates franchise actually has the 3rd longest winning streak at home against another opponent. The Brewers, if they win today, will match that. 21 is the number for the Pirates over the Cincinnati Reds back in the 30s. And you got to go all the way back to 1938. The last time there was this long of a winning streak at home from one team over another.
And as we talked about, it hasn't exactly been complete domination by the Brewers in that stretch. Look at the years. I mean, with these, with those other stretches back in the 30s.
Well, back in the Gas House gang of the Cardinals, they had a couple of those winning streaks going simultaneously against the Reds and the Phillies. Jason Bourgeois pinch hitting here in the 7th inning. Bourgeois belted his first big league home run on Friday night. Bourgeois said he's sending that baseball back home to mom. Kendall takes off. Doman bobbles and cannot make a throw. And how about Jason Kendall feeling like a pirate all over again?
Well, you know, paying attention to him over there. You get a big lead, you get a little bit of momentum, a walking lead, and you steal the bag. I think Doman would have had him had he had a handle on it and got rid of it right away, but he didn't. Ohlendorf with that big high leg kick takes him forever to get rid of it, and if Doman gets rid of it right away, I think Jason's out at third.
Well, that changes the entire complexion of the inning here. It brings the infield in first of all, gives Bourgeois a chance to drive in a run with a sacrifice fly at the very least. Kendall, 3 stolen bases in his first 108 games. He has 3 of those stolen bases in his last 2 games. 6 total. Take it back to Friday night. Milestone home run for Jason Bourgeois. Number 1 in his big league career. Bourgeois trying to play run producer here. And down he goes. Bootcheck strikes him out. And the second out of the inning. So back-to-back strikeouts with a runner in scoring position. And Bootcheck an out away from getting out of this mess.
And check this one out. Middle in and about mid-thigh high. Pretty good pitch to hit, but blows it right by Jason. For out number 2. Now it's going to take a base hit to score Jason Kendall, unless he wants to steal home.
Never say never. Lopez still looking for his first hit of the series. 0 for 3 today with a couple of strikeouts.
Well, the thing you like so much, the fact that back-to-back days, not much going on at the top of the order for the Brewers. Bottom of the order doing most of the damage today and yesterday.
Little jam shot out to second. And the side retired. So Kendall steals 2 bases but is stranded at third, and a scoreless inning from Bootcheck. The Brewers and the Pirates. Final game of this homestand. A lot of families here enjoying this one. And a good game turned in by Jeff Suppan. He goes 6 innings, just 1 run. David Weathers worked a scoreless 7th inning. And now Mitch Stetter out there to try to keep the scoreless streak for the bullpen alive. It's now at 8 consecutive innings.
Well, the Brewers have been very careful as to when they're using Mitch Stetter lately. Last pitched on Wednesday against the Reds. Faced only one batter, Joey Votto, and hit him. In a rough stretch for Mitch, 3.82 ERA, but body of work throughout the season has been very good.
Yeah, most of the runs he has allowed have come in the last 3 weeks. Delwin Young, a switch hitter. Maka wanting to turn Young around to the right side. Same goes for Ryan Doumit. So the lefty Jones on deck, and then another switch hitter down in the hole. As Stetter makes a call, fielder comes crashing in, and boy, Mitch Stetter's life just passed in front of his eyes. I'm sorry, Prince. I'm sorry.
Good job getting in on Young's hands. Very rare to have Delwin Young taken over. Well, so far he's 0 for 4. Ball hit so poorly that Prince barely had time to get there. Mitch Stetter bounces off the mound and makes the catch.
See Stetter's eyes? He's thinking about that Big 2 commercial with that poor Cubs catcher.
That would have been ugly.
So 1 gone. Here's Garrett Jones. Has not been retired today. Jones has a walk, a home run, and a single. Belted his 16th home run of the year back in the 3rd inning. Called up July 1st. And already 16 homers. That includes the All-Star break as well. He was up just before the All-Star break.
Yeah, 16 home runs and 199 at bats. That's pretty good. That's outstanding production. Interesting thing about Jones, though, 16 home runs, only 31 RBIs.
Most of them solo shots.
Reason for that, he's really struggled with men in scoring position. He's hitting 140 in those opportunities.
Well, he's always been known as a home run hitter. Just hasn't gotten his chance in the big leagues consistently until this year. Back in 2002, playing for Quad Cities in Single A, he hit 4 home runs in a game. Three-two. Just missed. Jones draws the walk. And a 1-out base runner. Pretty good pitch by Stetter. Well, see if the Brewers can turn their 5th double play of the game. A season high for double plays turned already. The Brewers got double plays in the 1st, the 2nd, the 5th, and the 6th. And Ken Maka is going to make the move to the bullpen here. So Stetter comes on and gets 1 out, gives up a walk. And Maka makes another call to the pen. We'll set up the new pitcher when we continue. rotation back then. And he pitched to a win against the Pirates. Prince Fielder and J.J. Hardy combined for 6 hits and 7 runs batted in. And that was the day that started the streak at home. The Brewers have won 20 consecutive home games against the Pirates since. Vargas was the winner yesterday. Claudio pitching a scoreless 6th inning yesterday and is on to work with a man on and 1 out here in the 8th.
Well, Ken Maka wants to turn Doman around left-handed. Doman's really struggled this year at 208 coming into today. From the right side of the plate, 250. That's why you see Vargas in for consecutive nights.
Ball and a strike on Doman. Doman is 0 for 3 today. He grounded into one of the 4 double plays turned by the Brewers. That was back in the 5th. Four to 1 Crew. 3 runs in the 5th for Milwaukee. All of them coming with 2 outs. Casey McGee homered in the 2nd with 1 away. Pirates' only run came from Garrett Jones in the 3rd. Put it right by him. 2-2 the count. A lot of movement on that fastball from Vargas.
And when he gets on top, he's got good life to it, good sink, good movement, going away from a left-handed hitter. Kind of pitch you want to throw to get that ground ball.
Claudio started the year with the Dodgers. Spent most of the season on the disabled list with an elbow injury. Acquired just before the trade deadline. Trying to bolster that Brewers bullpen. He's been a starter most of his career, but at this point he is a 1-inning reliever as he tries to recover from the elbow issues he suffered. Hoping to get 2 outs here in the 8th. 2-2 the count on Doman. Count stays at 2-2. That's a good souvenir to take home. He'll be using that in the backyard in a matter of moments.
Show and tell on Tuesday. That's what Dad's thinking.
Dad making sure he doesn't throw it over the edge. Because you know he wants to throw it. Test out that arm.
Just want to make sure that they're on the same page and know where they want to throw them. Doman's had a tough time catching up to the fastball in this series from what we've seen from him. Just want to go out there, a little bit of a disagreement as to what to throw. A little chat, and they're back at it.
Into right, hit pretty well, but Catalanotto right there for it.
That threw the slider and was able to speed his bat up a little bit. And the pitch before that was a fastball that I think Doman thought he should have smoked somewhere, but they went with the slider, left it down the middle, and got lucky. He hit it right at Catalanotto.
So as a catcher, you know, or at least you think you know what is the best pitch in that time, but the pitcher also has to be committed to the pitch. And if there's a disagreement, how do you subtly get your message across?
Well, you try and convince him, but if he's really adamant about throwing a certain pitch, you let him do it. After all, it's his runs out there, and if he throws something that he's not completely committed to, he's sometimes in the back of their mind, I mean, it's not on purpose, but they might not give you their best effort. If he really believes in a pitch, that's the one you want to go with.
Now, one thing we've seen from Lastings Milledge this entire series, he has handled the breaking ball. Has 3 hits today, 7 hits in the series, 9 hits in his last 5 games.
Good slider speed bat. That's what we've been talking about last 2 series against the Pirates.
Another fastball, and it's 2-1.
That's someone with a long swing, and a guy with a long swing is very susceptible to good fastballs and good changeups. Real hard, real soft. Middle speed, very dangerous to guys like Milledge.
Another fastball popped up and out of play.
See, late on it. He sees it well, but with the long swing, just can't get the barrel of the bat on that fastball. Can't get it out in front. You catch him back in the zone. Point of contact. It should be out here. It's actually out here, and that's why he's able to, or not able to get the bat head out.
And sitting there in a fastball count as well, geared up for the fastball. Can't imagine Vargas would give him anything else. Three hits today for Milledge, 2 outs in the 8th. And a fastball fouled away again. 94 miles an hour from Vargas, his best heater of the game.
Well, the last thing you want to do at this situation, you know he can't catch up to your fastball. You try and bust it in, you get a little bit further inside. You don't want to do him a favor and leave a breaking ball over the plate. If you're going to throw the slider, make it down in the dirt.
Kendall sets up away. And a 2-2. Another fastball popped up. Foul territory. Fielder has it for the out. Well, a great game plan there between Kendall and Vargas. Nothing but fastballs on Milledge, and it gets him out of the inning.
Counsell comes up big with 2 outs and the bases loaded to score 2 runs, giving the Brewers a 4-1 lead. And Jeff Suppan, tremendous outing here today, second time back after coming off the disabled list. 1 run, 8 hits, and got 4 double play balls to help his cause.
4-1 Brewers lead the Pirates. Final game of the series. Craig Counsell had a big hit today. 2 RBI single with the bases loaded in the 5th, and it came with 2 outs. And it came with 2 strikes. At the time, the Brewers had a 2-1 lead as Counsell serves one into right for the out. And one gone here in the 8th. The all-time saves leader, Trevor Hoffman, beginning to get loose.
Trevor's thrown a lot on this homestand. This will be his 4th appearance in 6 games.
Well, Trevor was up yesterday, lightly tossing. Picked up his 28th save on Friday, and career save number 582, which is a major league record. Every save he gets is a new major league record. That's why this season has been so special following Trevor Hoffman, setting history as he goes, and the pure drama of seeing him close a ball game. It has been a very comfortable fit. One out for Braun. And Buchek crowds him. We showed you earlier Prince Fielder did a mean Jason Kendall. He also gave a little Ryan Braun impression with the batting stance guy, flapping the arms. Davey Nelson was our judge, our celebrity judge.
Sitting on the fence. Did you see what how he judged the whole competition? A draw.
I think Davey actually went with Prince at one point, which you knew was coming.
Oh, it was Telly that called it a draw.
Telly,
you're right. That's right.
Politically correct as he is, he didn't want, you don't want to offend the batting stance guy.
Right.
I'll take Prince. I feel like Davey had his mind made up. I'm not sure. Davey, did you have your mind made up before it started? I think so.
He's saying no.
No. It's one thing to say that. It's another thing to stand by Fielder and tell him he lost.
Fair and objective. If we're anything, we're not that.
Oh boy. Full count to Braun. Popped him up. Jones makes a call, and he's got it for out number 2. So 2 up, 2 down. And here comes Prince Fielder. Still looking for his first hit of the game. Prince at the plate, presented by Wendy's, hitless today. Braun and Fielder yesterday went hitless, and the Brewers won 7-3. Those two combined 0 for 7, excuse me, today. But the Brewers lead 4-1.
Now Prince has certainly earned his pay today with his glove at first base. A couple of nice defensive plays. It's always nice to be able to get runs on the board without relying on Ryan Braun and Prince Fielder. Those two guys can't do it every day.
Prince trying to get Andy LaRoche to creep in a little bit at third base. Made a run at a bunt. I think the Pirates would be more than happy to see Prince Fielder drop a bunt down.
Yeah, not much of a shift. You know, the Pirates are giving to Prince Fielder. A little bit, not much.
Two balls, no strikes on Fielder. And that one's in there for a strike. 2-1.
Actually had McCutchen, the center fielder, shaded around toward left. That's unusual with Prince at the plate.
Three and 1. Fielder has 87 walks this year. Had 84 all of last season. Well on his way to a 100 walk season. 84 walks in just 159 games last year as he takes a strike. Prince has 87 walks this year in just 129 games. No Brewer has ever walked 100 times. We've chronicled that, something we're watching as Fielder starts to rewrite some of the Brewers' offensive record books.
And over a month left.
Both Braun and Fielder have already walked more this year than they did all of last year. Braun has 47 walks compared to Fielder's 87. Full count, 2 outs. Shoots one over to third. LaRoche will take care of Prince Fielder. 1-2-3 inning for Buchek. We head to the ninth. Trevor time in Milwaukee. A 4-1 Milwaukee lead. Trevor Hoffman back on the mound in Milwaukee, and he makes a bid at his 29th save of the year. Crowd loves it when he pitches, and the theatrics of it all. And Hoffman making his 42nd appearance. He's blown just 2 saves all season. Had 18 consecutive scoreless innings to start the year, and he's on another good run here as he's set to face the Pirates, trying to pick up his 2nd save of this series. His 4th appearance in the 6-game series. Hoffman will have Brandon Moss, Andy LaRoche, and Ronnie Cedeno to deal with. He's at the bottom of the Pirates order, and Moss sends one deep to right field. Catalanotto on the run, can't get it. That is off the wall. Brandon Moss with a ringing double off the wall to start the 9th.
Now fastball, they got too much at the plate. Trevor Hoffman gets a lot of mileage out of that fastball. Hitters go up there looking changeup. He's ordinarily right on the corners with it and got too much to the plate that time. And Moss drills it into right field. A good start to the 9th for the Pirates.
So the young Brandon Moss, a base hit, and it's Andy LaRoche now. Alcides Escobar takes over at shortstop. Craig Counsell goes from short to third as McGee is removed. And LaRoche yanks one foul. 0-2 the count. Hoffman comes in 5th in the National League in saves with 28. Has 582 career saves, a National League, or a Major League record, I should say. And Trevor has converted each of his last 9 opportunities. He's only blown 2 saves all year. He did it in Cleveland and against the Dodgers on July 10th.
Had a real good changeup his last time out. As we talked about with this Pirate club, they're very susceptible to the changeup because they're so aggressive with a fastball.
Hoffman saved it for Manny Parra on Friday. Struck out the side in the 9th inning. Almost got LaRoche. Just got a piece to stay in there. It's 0-2. So a lot of work for Trevor on this homestand. The Brewers struggling so. Haven't seen as much of Trevor as we'd like. But he's certainly getting his work this week. His 2 appearances against the Reds were both in tie games in non-save situations. The 0-2. LaRoche pops it up. Routine play for Catalanado, and it's out number 1. Well, let's wrap up our U.S. Cellular text to vote question of the week. We wanted to hear from you what you thought. Should Pete Rose be reinstated to baseball? And a resounding yes from Brewers fans who texted in. We appreciate you getting interactive with us, courtesy of U.S. Cellular this week. We'll have a new question for you Tuesday. Ronnie Cedeno with 1 away and a runner at second. 4-1, the Brewers lead it. Cedeno is 0 for 1. Twice he was intentionally walked. Jeff Suppan started, went 6 innings, only 1 run allowed, 3 walks, 2 intentional walks, and 1 strikeout. And he's in line for his 6th win. If Hoffman can take it the rest of the way. Another pop-up. Braun eases in. 2 outs.
Another changeup, another pop-up. That's an awfully good pitch to a young club.
And now they come to their feet as Steve Pearce will pinch hit for Buchek. Brewers trying to cap off a sweep of the Pirates and make it 21 consecutive wins against Pittsburgh here at Miller Park, which would be the 3rd longest in the history of the National League. Two outs. Runner at second. And Pearce breaks his bat. Braun standing right in his tracks. That's your ball game. Trevor Hoffman. Another save. And the Brewers bullpen extending their scoreless run to 10 consecutive innings. Hoffman with number 29. Career save number 583. Jeff Suppan the winner. Ross Ohlendorf the loser. And the defense was the story today. 4